Hello everyone, tutor and partners. This is my fairy tale, Meliodas and the Two Funny Lions by Santos Santana. Once upon a time, there was a strong boy called Meliodas. He was on the way to see his girlfriend alone when he decided to take a shortcut through James Park Forest. It wasn't long before Meliodas got lost. He looked around, but all he could see were trees. Nervously, he felt into his bag for his favorite toy, Mr. Piggy, but Mr. Piggy was nowhere to be found. Meliodas began to panic. He felt sure he had packed Mr. Piggy. To make matters worse, he was starting to feel hungry. Unexpectedly, he saw a funny lion dressed in a blue shield disappearing into the trees. How odd, thought Meliodas. For the want of anything better to do, he decided to follow the peculiarly dressed lion. Perhaps it could tell him the way out of the forest. Eventually, Meliodas reached a clearing. In the clearing were three houses, one made from beans, one made from chocolate, and one made from soda. Meliodas could feel his tummy rumbling. Looking at the houses did nothing to ease his hunger. "Hello," he called. "Is anybody there?" Nobody replied. Meliodas looked at the roof on the closest house and wondered if it would be rude to eat somebody else's chimney. Obviously, it would be impolite to eat a whole house, but perhaps it would be considered acceptable to nibble the odd fixture or lick the odd fitting in a time of need. A cackle broke through the air, giving Meliodas a fright. A witch jumped into the space in front of the houses. She was carrying a cage. In that cage was Mr. Piggy. "Mr. Piggy!" shouted Meliodas. He turned to the witch. "That's my toy!" The witch just shrugged. "Give Mr. Piggy back!" cried Meliodas. "Not on your Nelly!" said the witch. "At least let Mr. Piggy out of that cage." Before she could reply, two funny lions rushed in front of a footpath on the other side of the clearing. Meliodas recognized the one in the blue shield that he'd seen earlier. The witch seemed to recognize him too. "Hello, big lion," said the witch. "Good morning." The lion noticed Mr. Piggy. "Who is this?" "That's Mr. Piggy," explained the witch. "Oh, Mr. Piggy would look lovely in my house. Give it to me," demanded the lion. The witch shook her head. "Mr. Piggy is staying with me." Excuse me," Meliodas interrupted. "Mr. Piggy lives with me and not in a cage." Big Lion ignored him. "Is there nothing you'll trade?" he asked the witch. The witch thought for a moment, then said, "I do like to be entertained. I release him to anybody who can eat a whole front door." Big Lion looked at the house made from soda and said, "No problem, I could eat an entire house made from soda if I wanted to." "That's nothing," said the next lion. "I could eat 2 houses." "There's no need to show off," said the witch. "Just eat one front door and I'd let you have Mr. Pig." Meliodas watched, feeling very worried. He didn't want the witch to give Mr. Piggy to Big Lion. He didn't think Mr. Piggy would like living with a funny lion, away from his house and all his other toys. The other lions watched while Big Lion put on his bib and withdrew a knife and fork from his pocket. "I'll eat this whole house," said Big Lion. "Just you watch." Big Lion pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from chocolate. He gulped it down, smiling, and went back for more. and more and more. Eventually, Big Lion started to get bigger, just a little bit bigger at first. But after a few more forkfuls of chocolate, he grew to the size of a large snowball, and he was every bit as round. I don't feel too good, said Big Lion. Suddenly, he started to roll. He grew so round that he could no longer balance. Help! He cried as he rolled off down a slope into the forest. Big Lion never finished eating the front door made from chocolate, and Mr. Piggy remained trapped in the witch's cage. Average Lion stepped up and approached the house made from soda. I'll eat this whole house, said Average Lion. Just you watch. Average Lion pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from soda. She gulped it down, smiling, and went back for more and more and more. After a while, Average Lion started to look a little queasy. She grew greener and greener. A woodcutter walked into the clearing. What's this bush doing here? He asked. I'm not a bush. I am a lion, said Average Lion. It talks, exclaimed the woodcutter. Those talking bushes are the worst kind. I'd better take it away before somebody gets hurt. No, wait, cried Average Lion, as the woodcutter picked her up. But the woodcutter ignored her cries and carried the lion under his arm. Average Lion never finished eating the front door made from soda, and Mr. Piggy remained trapped in the witch cage. That's it, said the witch. I win. I get to keep Mr. Piggy. Not so fast, said Meliodas. There is still one front door to go. The front door of the house made from beans. And I haven't had a turn yet. I don't have to give you a turn, laughed the witch. My game, my rules. The woodcutter's voice carried through the forest. I think you should give in a chance. It's only fair. Fine, said the witch. But you saw what happened to the lion. He won't last long. I'll be right back, said Meliodas. What? Said the witch. Where's your sense of impatience? I thought you wanted Mr. Piggy back. Meliodas ignored the witch and gathered a hefty pile of sticks. He came back to the clearing and started a small campfire. Carefully, he broke off a piece of the door of the house made from beans and toasted it over the fire. Once it had cooked and cooled just a little, he took a bite. He quickly devoured the whole piece. Meliodas sat down on a nearby log. You failed, cackled the witch. You were supposed to eat the whole door. I haven't finished, explained Meliodas. I'm just waiting for my food to go down. When Meliodas' food had digested, he broke off another piece of dough made from beans. Once more, he toasted his food over the fire and waited for it to cool just a little. He ate it at a leisurely pace, then waited for it to digest. Eventually, after several sittings, Meliodas was down to the final piece of the dough made from beans. Carefully, he toasted it and allowed it to cool just a little. He finished his final course. Meliodas had eaten the entire front door of the whole of the house made from beans. The witch stamped her foot angrily. You must have tricked me, she said. I don't reward cheating. I don't think so, said a voice. It was the woodcutter. He walked back into the clearing carrying his axe. "This little boy won fair and square. Now hand over Mr. Piggy, or I will chop your broomstick in half." The witch looked horrified. She grabbed her broomstick and placed it behind her. Then, huffing, she opened the door of the cage. Meliodas hurried over and grabbed Mr. Piggy, checking that his favorite toy was alright. Fortunately, Mr. Piggy was unharmed. Meliodas thanked the woodcutter, grabbed a quick souvenir, and hurried on to meet a loon. It was starting to get dark. When Meliodas got to Elun's house, his girlfriend threw her arms around him. "You was so worried," cried Elun. "You are very late." As Meliodas described his day, he could tell that Elun didn't believe him, so he grabbed a napkin from his pocket. "What's that?" asked Elun. Meliodas unwrapped a doorknob made from chocolate. "Pudding," he said. Elun almost fell off her chair. The end.